Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to easily use your web browser to grab the CSS you need to change the colors of your MyListing website. So within MyListing website, there are a number of areas that you need CSS to color it, okay? So I'm getting questions kind of routinely, especially here of late, of how do I change the color of this? How do I change the color of that? So I'm going to show you in this video just how easy it is to do this. Okay. And you don't need another plugin to find it. You don't need any special tools. You just need the browser that is in front of you. Okay. That's all you need. Okay. So we have Canvas dark pulled up here and Canvas light. And the reasons I'm showing you these two is because there's also a little misconception like that there's something magically different about how you style these starter sites. They're MyListing websites at the end of the day. That's all they are. They just have extra functionality and another additional coats of paint on it to make it prettier, if you will, in my opinion anyway. So it's the same. The concepts are exactly the same, and I'm going to show you that on a MyListing demo too. Okay, there just seems to be a little confusion about like this something special that we have to do with the starter sites. Okay, so for example, one just came across my desk in the MyListing Club community. That how do I change this? So I literally just responded in the club community. How do I change the color of this bar? Okay. It does not matter what it is that you want to change. If it is an element that you like, that's not in the Elementor page builder or Gutenberg, the WordPress block editor or whatever, you're going to need CSS. Okay. So if you have to touch the design by hand, you need CSS. Okay. So what I'm about to show you applies to anything that you can't get to, again, with Elementor or Gutenberg or the block editor, which is unfortunately, or is a lot of things with MyListing. That's why I create lots of CSS packages. There's a lot of work that I do by hand for this stuff. Okay. Okay. So how do we change this bar? Couldn't be easier. Right click anywhere on that white space. This particular customer wanted to change this white box to black. Okay. Anywhere. I don't care where you click. Click on the outside is typically easier, but it'll work pretty much anywhere. So just pick a white space, right click on it. Okay. We're going to right click on this white space, right click, inspect. Okay. And then we're just going to look on the right hand side here. You see that the element is highlighted for you automatically. Okay. Then without changing anything up there or moving around, just drop down to this panel down here. Okay. And you'll see right off the bat, you'll see this white stick out at you. Because if you start scrolling down, it should be towards the top. Okay. So if you scroll down, you're not seeing any white, right? You just see white right here. It's always going to be near the top of whatever it is that you need to change. Boom. So more than likely, this is what it is right here. And you can easily change it to find out by doing this. Click on the color right here, the little white box. Click on that. It's going to bring up a color picker. Just click anything in here. We're just going to click this red. See how that box changes to red? You now know that you have the element you need to change and the value. So what you do is you then grab just what you've changed. So in this case, we are grabbing the element, okay, which is that .fs -tabs space -tab -content. Okay, so what's there and what's highlighted. So you're going to grab that and only the value that you've changed, which is the background. So we're going to copy that. Actually, just going to click copy, not copy rule, just copy. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up in a text editor just to show you. You're going to, on your website, you're going to put that in wherever it is that you manage your CSS, whether it's like WP Codebox or somewhere else, wherever it is that you put your CSS and manage it. Okay. Just make sure you put it in you're following best practice as far as whatever tool you use is a centralized management tool like WP Codebox that's applying the code conditionally to your website so it's not slowing down your site and all that good stuff. So I'm just going to paste this in here, okay? And then if you go back and you see when you're doing CSS, you've got the opening brackets and then this closing bracket. You got to make sure you get that in here too, okay? So let me pull up we're going to do this multiple times. So it just becomes like muscle memory for you guys. Okay. So that's it, that you're only grabbing what has changed. So in this case, the client wanted to change this to black. So you can literally type in the word black. Okay. Like that. Or you can put the hex code of 000 is black. You can put the full hex code, which is 6 zeros. Just like that. You can put the RGBA value if you want, the HSL value, however it is that you like to enter your colors. But there you go. That answered the question for that client. Okay. So again, when you do that, let's just do another example. So let's go. What if we want to change this button? So let's change this to black as they wanted. So we're going to just change this. Oops, thought I did anyway. There we go. So we change that to black. Now let's say we want to change the button. It's the same concept. Right click on the button, inspect. What do we see? Right near the top, we see that purple color. Okay, click on it. Let's change that now to white. Boom, there you go. All right, let's change it actually to, let's do like a light gray. So our, let's see here. Let's do we'll do red. There we go. Let's go with red so that white still sticks out. That's it. Okay, so we've got it. And again, what did we change? Just the background color. Now here's another tip. You only want to copy what is highlighted in most cases. Let's just keep it simple here. Okay, you see how this is kind of grayed out here? What the actual value you need, the element is just here in white. It's kind of like it sticks out. So here's another easy way to do this. Just grab the whole thing, Control C, or however it is you like to copy your stuff, right click, whatever. Okay, we're gonna go back into our text editor. We're gonna just paste this in and we're gonna strip out what we don't need. That way we're sure we get that our start bracket and our end bracket. Remember, we're just changing the background color. So we don't need this color. We can take that out. You wanna keep your code to an absolute minimum. Okay, and remember before we saw on that screen how everything was grayed out except for button 2. There we go. So we now have that. Again, you put that into your CSS. All right, so now let's just keep working through this. Okay, now you can see, because we changed that to black, I'm guessing this client that asked earlier is going to come back and say, well, how do I now change this stuff to white? Because that's the thing that people don't realize a lot of times is that you start going down this rabbit hole of things you need to change. And that's why these CSS packages from the club are so valuable. This is already done for you. Okay, so let's just let's get one of the text to pop out here. Okay, right click. You see it here. It's kind of gray, that text. Let's right click on that. Inspect. You see a reoccurring theme here. Now, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than the other, but not by much. So we go down here. The first thing we see for color is, okay, we see a color right here. It's like this black color. That happens to be the MyListing default black. Okay, so we're going to click on that. Let's see if we've got the right element. Let's change it to, let's do you can use the color picker. Let's change it to red just so everything kind of matches up. No, let's do white. We'll do white. All right. Okay, so I changed that and nothing showed up. So that means we have the wrong element. All right. So we need to continue looking for that. Another thing too is when we clicked into that, you see how that's purple. So that's going to be another thing you're probably going to want to change. Okay, so this is a little more complicated. I wanted to show you this on purpose because when we get to this and we can't change it through simple CSS, that's when you got to kind of start asking questions unless you know what you're doing. But this is an input in this particular case. So you have to have CSS to style the input. Okay. But if now I start typing, you'll see that it's white. That is actually what we changed. That's the text after we input it in. Okay, so let's verify that. Let's change it to green. See that? It's green. Okay, but we don't have that text. It's gray here. Okay, so what if we wanted to change? And again, that's why I do these CSS packages so you guys don't have to mess with this stuff. But if you want to, I'm showing you how easy it can be. So let's say you want to change this little geolocation icon. Right click on it, inspect. And the first thing that pops up is this dark gray color. Let's click it. Let's choose red. There we go. See that it lit up and it's red. Okay, so in this case, go back there, let's set it again to our bright red. Okay, and again, we're only what changed. So we ensure we get everything. Let's just copy it all. Those brackets are what you really want to make sure you get. And you want to make sure you get the entire syntax of the element. All right, so let's go back here, drop this in. Again, we're only doing the color, so let's strip out everything but the color. There we go. Okay, moving on. So we see other things here. If you want this little caret drop down here, right click, inspect. Okay, let's look for our first bit of color. We don't see it in here. Okay, you think, okay, maybe this down here. Okay, that's not it. Okay, so in this case, sometimes you have to expand. So you see when you inspect on the right-hand side up here at the top, you'll see it's highlighted automatically for you. Sometimes you need to expand it. Okay, and in this case, I already know, but if you click the word, this little pseudo before, that's what that means. Click on that. Boom. Now it highlights that little drop down caret. Okay, so let's go back here at the top and we see what's the first color we see, this dark gray. I bet you that's it. Click on it. We'll just use our color picker here just to get that exact red to match everything up. Select the button. There we go. See how that is there? Okay, and then again, copy the whole thing to ensure you get it. Drop it into your CSS. Oops, see what I did there? I missed the closing bracket. I did not get the closing bracket. I actually accidentally deleted it, and that would have broke my CSS. Like not just this snippet, it would have broke my entire whatever that entire CSS snippet was. Okay, so you gotta be really careful with syntax. Okay, moving along. So what if we wanted to change that underline? Okay, actually, I want to change this to white. Just so okay, there we go. Okay, what if I want to change that underline that's on focus? We see that as purple. Right click, inspect, and again, we don't see anything in here that looks purple, right? So this is where it gets a little more complicated. There is a right here. It's called a hover state. If you click that hover state, okay, and then in this case, we're not hovering, but then you're in that inspect tool, it unlocks these various states, whether it's active, focus, focus visible, whatever. Now, if you click into that same thing again and activate that purple, that's called focus. All right. So on the right-hand side, you see a box for focus. We're going to click that box. That now unlocks this down here. So you see it. Okay. It's like a reoccurring theme. It's the very first color that shows up. So you know that this input focus border is coming from here. So we're going to click it. We're going to use our little eyedropper color picker, choose our button. Boom. There we go. Again, grab the whole thing, go to our CSS. I'm just going to keep repeating this over and over again. Delete everything but what we need. And remember, it was only I think it was just the input focus was lit up. Let's see here. Yeah. See how that's grayed out? So we just need the input focus. Keep your CSS lean and mean. It's not going to be the end of the world if you were to also put that grayed out in there because you may need that later. It's just for this particular purpose. We didn't need it, but you may find that you do need that later. Okay, so clicking into here, we've got a completely different type of field. It's what's called a select to field. So we're going to just get that activated, right click, inspect it again. Okay. Now we need to, let's see, we have a color right here. So our very first color that comes up is this dark color. So let's make this white. Okay. What that's going to do is that's going to be our, it's a little more complicated on the select twos. I'm not going to lie. So, excuse me, let's inspect again. Let's go focus and see if that unlocks anything. It's been a minute. Let's go focus within. Sorry, focus within. Nope, that didn't bring anything up either. Okay, we'll skip that part. We'll focus on the drop down, which is, there we go. So that's where our white came in. So it's after we selected it, that's where the white came in. Okay, so that's the rendered. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy all of this. Again, we only changed the color, so we're going to delete everything but that white. There we go. That is that piece. Okay, so we needed all of that. Now we see a label here. It's kind of like a faint gray there. So let's right click on that, inspect, and go back, scroll back to the top here and see what we see. The first color we see is, just keep scrolling down. Yeah, there's nothing there. So we know we typically need to like drill down further. Okay, so let's go down another level. So you don't go up, you go down typically. So you go down and there's no color there. There's input. We need a label. Okay, so let's go down another level. There you go. We start to see the word label, and that's what we're going to be looking for. Okay, scroll down. The first color we see, again, it's typically the first color that you see. I see the black color right here. Let's click on that. Let's change that to, let's do our red again. There we go. So there's our labels. All right. Let's grab all of the CSS. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Okay. Take out what we don't need. Okay, what else do we have here? So we've got that. We've got this. We've got our text is working in there. All of our labels are good. We're just messing with colors here. I mean, we could get into like font weights and uppercase, lowercase, and all kinds of stuff. Okay. Now, if you wanted to get into here and do this drop down, it's a little more difficult. We do see a purple underline there. Let's try to knock that out. So we're going to do inspect and figure out, we're looking for a border that's purple. Okay. It's not there. So let's expand this. Let's drop down a level. Not there. Let's expand it again. Okay. It's not there. There's no purple. Okay. Let's keep going down. Just keep walking down the CSS tree here. Okay. We clicked on after. Remember before we did the before pseudo, which got us that little caret icon. Now the after is our pseudo here. So the after pseudo gets us our underline. Okay. And it's this background, this purple right here. So let's click on that. Let's do our little color picker. Let's choose our red. Boom. Grab all of the CSS. There we go. And what else do we have? If you want to do these drop downs, it's a little more difficult because you see when you click off of it to try to inspect it, it goes away. So it's a little more difficult. You can use, I can't remember the shortcut off the top of my head right now, but there's a way that you can get that to stick, and I'm blanking on it right now. So another thing that you can do is just get it activated and use a tool like a CSS inspection tool. I use CSS Pro. So I'll just show you this example right here. So if you use there's a discount through the club to get this, but it's just a browser extension, but I don't have it active. But that'll help you just go and grab the color really easily if there's an area that you can't get to like this, where you need to keep it activated. So if you actually, I want to go to the club website anyway because I want to show you some stuff here. So if you go up under resources and CSS packages, and you see how long this takes, right? It's not hard, but it takes time. So if you go in here, these are all of the CSS packages I've created to save you time. So if you wanted to change that, what we're doing right now, you could just type in the word basic search form, or you could click this product tag drop down and do right here, select basic search form. So these are some different styles of the basic search form that you can grab to give you a head start. And then obviously, if you're in the club community, then you can just ask me directly, and I'll try to help you. But I would always start with a CSS package first and see if that gets you where you need to go. But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. It was the different deals. So if you go to deals, I need to fix that header on there. So if we go to deals, partner deals, and just do a search for, let's see, let's try the drop down. Let's do CSS right there. So you've got CSS Pro. There's another one. I need to work on a keyword there. Let's reset our filters. If you do a search for CSS, maybe. I thought we had a deal for, maybe we don't. No, you know what it is? It's client. So if you are if any of you are my client, like if you have hosting with me or website care or manage my listing or all the different ways to be my client, you can get access to CSS Hero. So this will also further help you just style everything in a really, really cool way. If you don't want to do it by hand, I'll do another video on that here shortly, but you get the idea. I just wanted to show you that it's not difficult. And let's go back to Canvas, to the starter sites. It's the same exact thing. If I want to change the color of this button, it's not voodoo, guys. It's the same stuff. Okay, so scroll down. What's the first color we see? We have a background color right there. Or we can go down here. Here we go. Button 2. Click that. Make it purple. That one is not taking hold. Why not? It's probably because it's defined here. Yeah, it's defined here in Elementor as a global style. So it looks like the MyListing guys, developers don't do that. So this is the way you should do it. The way that I do it with Canvas is it's defined in Elementor as a global style. So again, I should have just followed my own rules. It's the very first color that pops up. So if we were to change this one to purple, that would stick. Okay. Same thing. If we want to like preview cards, you have to do CSS. So if I want to change these preview cards to something, right click on it. What's our background color? It's our opacity, that's kind of sitting over the top of that card. It's black. Okay, let's change it to red. There we go. Let's change this one to purple. There you go. Change this one to, let's do a blue. Pretty cool stuff, right? Actually looks really cool that way. But you see what I mean? It's not voodoo. It's the same thing. Same thing. Go over here. Let's change one of these preview cards. Right click, inspect, change it to purple. Okay, let's go. What else? How about the MyListing header up here? If we want to change the CTA button, right click on Get Started, inspect, look for the first background color. There it is. It's blue. It's easy to see. Change it to purple. There you go. It's that easy. Okay, but I wanted to show you guys that how easy it is to grab the CSS that you need to put into your site. I'm happy to help people, and I'm gonna, obviously going to continue to do that in the club community and creating the CSS packages. But I want to empower you guys to do this yourself because it's not difficult. Especially just try it a few times. It is not hard. And then if you're using, so we're looking at the back end of Canvas right here, and then you just go in and wherever it is that you put your CSS. Again, I recommend WP Codebox. That's what I use for everything. Come in here, drop the CSS wherever you need to put it. So you'll see I've got like a basic search form CSS code snippet right here that styles it all up. But if you get this CSS package, you want to change it, this is where you would do it. But I give you a head start with it. But if you're starting from scratch, you could come in here, create a new code snippet of type CSS. So I'm going to grab what we created earlier. You grab all of this CSS. If you want to document it, which I recommend you do, you can. You can come in here, paste it in, and you can say, make sure you know how to do comments when CSS. But you guys should really learn the basics of this stuff. Everyone should know this stuff. I didn't when I first started out, but I taught myself. You could call this, just keep it simple, something that you'll know, box, background, something like that. Okay, comment it out. Go down here. Obviously, that's a button. It says button in there, but you may not remember. Type button. Comment it out. Go down here. Call Call this location icon. You get the idea. Comment everything out so you know when you go back and look at this a year from now, you know what it is that you did. I could get into the weeds and take this a step further and say you shouldn't be using these individual hex codes like that, but that's not really the purposes of this video. But if you look at like Canvas and you go to the global CSS package, you'll see we do everything with what's called variables. So if I wanted to change this accent color of blue throughout the entire website in literally one click of a button, that's how you do it. Rather than now imagine if we came over here, let's pretend this was our CSS package. What if a year from now you wanted, let's imagine all these reds were the exact same color. What happens a year from now if you've got a million entries of this red color manually entered into your CSS and you want to change it, you have a change of heart. Like I did recently, I changed the MyListing Club branding from yellow to blue. You would have to go through and do a find and replace for all of those colors. Whereas if you had color variables, you could literally click a button once, change it to whatever you wanted it to be, and it's going to change it throughout your entire website. Okay, that's how Canvas is built. All right, guys. I hope this was useful. Really take a stab at this, guys. The next time you're thinking of jumping in the club or jumping in the MyListing support, or asking your web professional person, empower yourself to do this yourself. Just give it a shot on something basic. I think once you do it once, twice, 3 times, you get the hang of it and you'll get really excited about what it is that you can do with this stuff. Let's right click on this button again. Let's do border radius. Let me get rid of. I know people like to have different border radiuses on their buttons. So let's do border radius 100. Let's just do rim. There you go. Cool stuff, right? Just the power of once you get in here of everything you can do. Border. Let's do 5 pixels solid red. It's just so much fun. At least I think I do. I kind of nerd out about it. It's just so much fun to get in here and play with all of this stuff. You can mess with the padding, whatever. Create some really cool, wild stuff. Okay. All right, guys. I gotta get off here and go do some CSS. See ya.